Next item on our agenda today is Senate Bill 1204. Senator Dan Schmidt will present the bill. Senator Schmidt, welcome to the committee, and the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Committee members, I'm going to actually suggest that at this point we consider both the bills that are before us, 1204 and 1205.
That would be appropriate, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They're not the same, but they're similar, and the issues will be similar, and I believe the testimony will be similar. I'd like to give some background. This committee heard a presentation on this issue, and it had quite a bit of information on it just a week ago. This committee also heard a presentation on these proposals last year and the year before. So I'm very thankful that, Mr. Chairman, committee members, that we can have this discussion today. And I believe that's my goal for this meeting, is that we have a discussion, that your concerns about this public policy choice be addressed, and that we can have an open and frank conversation. Now, the committee testimony and the committee procedures sometimes make that difficult. I will do my best to honor your guys' function, the role of this committee, and the role of the Senate, because that's the body that is considering this through this committee. So, as we talked, you mentioned Senate Bill 204. Senate Bill 204 is a draft of a bill that directly reflects the recommendation from the work group that I served on 3 years ago that made a recommendation to the governor. Senate Bill 205 is a recommendation from another work group that you, Mr. Chairman, served on, and I did not. So my familiarity with that bill is not as deep as the first one, but there are people here today who can and will testify that, who were on that work group. I have other familiarity. I've served in the Senate. I serve as a family physician in small-town ERs, and I serve on the state CAT fund. And there are lots of reasons to consider this today, and I think you will hear some of them in the testimony, and I thank you very much for this opportunity. If the chairman will allow, at this time I'd like to yield the rest of my opening statement to Dr. Epperly, who did serve on both, who can provide updated information for you. So these bills are in essence the recommendations that came from those committees with the fiscal notes updated. And you will notice that Senate Bill 1205 has an even further revised fiscal note. That fiscal note is revised because there was new information available from Milliman, who did the actuarial estimation of the costs. And I'd be glad to get into that at the end of the testimony. But if, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to yield the rest of my time to Dr. Epperly to discuss this.
The committee will hear Dr. Epperly. Thank you, Senator.